Welcome back, everybody. It probably hasn't been too long since you've seen us last. I'm Carmichael, known as Mikey, here with Winona. Say hi.
Hello.
And we are here with part 2 of the Voice 12 FPS. The Devil Might Lose to a Small Child Again.
Yeah.
Part 2 is called Maybe This Time!
Yeah.
As in, this is just a direct continuation, timeline after, of that.
Yeah.
That being said, I am in fact going to roll weather again, and since Chaos is left, I'm going to hope the weather is not interrupted this time. So let's see what the weather changes as the storm rolls in, because the storm did roll in, so it is storming out. Okay. Odds we keep the 8, evens we go with the number it was before in October. Okay, alright, I see it. Okay, so the storm doesn't completely lighten up. It moves through the area, but as Belle is trying to get down and write in one of the paper birds, you are listening to the wind howl outside because the temperature remains the same. But I need to pull up the DM's guide again. I gotta reach. For context, nobody needs to know how I'm sitting, but I am sitting in a rolly little gamer chair. I have a board on my lap where my keyboard is, so I'm kind of pinned to my chair. My bed is right next to me, and my bed is where the books are, so I kind of have to lean over to get things.
Yeah, I'm currently in the living room in my recliner chair.
So, precipitation at the moment has lightened up. This is, when a system moves through and you get brief little glimpses of empty rain spot, even though you know the
Yeah.
rain's coming?
Mhm.
It's like that, but the wind, however, is strong. So I'm going to give you a notification as to what strong wind does. Okay?
Mhm.
Strong wind imposes disadvantage on ranged weapon attack rolls and wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing. It also extinguishes open flames, disperses fog, and makes flying by non-magical means nearly impossible. A flying creature in a strong wind must land at the end of its turn or fall. Now, I'm going to give you the choice. You can either still try to ask Belle for a rematch in this weather, or you can wait until you've rested a day and then immediately bug him for round 2.
Yeah, Mad Lad's gonna wait a day. He's gonna wait a day. This isn't good weather, and he doesn't want to mess around with the weather as it already was earlier.
Yeah. Though you do note that as you kind of get settled in and ready for bed, Belle has left the window to his bunk area open. So that way he can actually hear and feel the rain and the wind and all that as it goes into the night, even when the rain stops. He seems to like the cacophonous noise.
Good for him.
Thankfully, you do not have to stay in that room. So,
Yeah, thankfully.
and you don't even tell your lovely little Thor hamster that you lost. It's fine.
No, but he does see the Thor does see the beast, the imp stings.
Yeah. You do note that while the imps had lingered around the treehouse, after Belle did speak to him a tiny bit, mostly just to please tell Flunky that I'm okay and please make sure nobody else worries,
Yeah.
they did poof off. That wasn't a concentration spell. You do kind of note that Belle actually just has the ability to summon minions. He's just kind of gotta work on it a bit.
He's
Above
not
board, he can only summon imps at the moment.
Yeah, he's not surprised. Like, this is the devil, so it's just like, of course, he can just summon minions as he pleases.
Now, since you decided to sleep overnight, would you roll me a 3d20? And please type them into the roll zone.
Yes, I can. Give me one moment to sit up. Ugh. You think say I've had this chair since I was a baby. It's worn in and it's so nice.
Yeah, that would sound like it.
All right, first D20. 15, 18, 8.
Okay, would you?
Yeah, I
You
got
don't have
it.
to add them together just yet.
Yeah, is it 15, 18,
Excuse
8?
The sunset really is nice through that window, though. I'm not about to let it through the full blinds of my window, otherwise it's gonna cook my room like an oyster.
Yeah, I thankfully have like a tree. I have a really thick tree line. We're literally right next to the woods, and now that the foliage is fully like came in, is a can't really see much, but is a it does
Mm-hmm.
block out a lot of the sun when it's daytime.
Alright, would you do me a favor and roll me a d4?
I will indeed roll a d4. Where's my d4? There's my d4. That is a 1.
You're kind of still in the system, but while it's cloudy, it is 10 degrees colder than normal. It's not extreme, but it's like, chilly. You probably don't want to head out. And incredibly windy. Strong gusts again. But no rain. Unfortunately, this is not very good fighting weather.
Yeah, Mad Lad's annoyed that it's still not good fighting weather. He's gonna wait another day, or at least wait to see if it clears up later.
While you go through that day, though, Belle does actually kind of. You notice that Belle sort of asks around the treehouse a bit and seems a little frustrated something before eventually kind of heading up to you.
Yeah, Mad Lad's just sitting at the window, annoyed look on his face.
Not able to take your bug out for a walk?
Among other things.
Hmm. Belle actually sits next to you and looks outside for a minute. He doesn't look quite as grumpy at it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you're doing alright from the other day?
Annoyed, but I played by your rules, and I lost fair and square.
He'd nod, look out the window. For a while, it would just sound. Well, windy, but that's not a bad thing. And the wind going through the trees, going through the branches, causing the groaning of wood and the creaking of board is. Well, in a way, it's kind of nice. It does sort of remind you of being on a ship, in a way.
In a way, and that does comfort him slightly. But if Belle can make an insight.
Alright. Oh! Oh no! Uh-oh. Hang on. One of the dice have rebelled!
No.
Where did you go, bud? Where did you go, baby boy? Oh, there you are. Oh no, you landed in a dirty spot. Oh no. You landed in some stuff I have not vacuumed up yet. I hope you're okay. Oh. my poor little D20. Oh. Okay. So, insight check for Belle, and an apology to my poor D20, to one of Belle's poor Percy dice. Poor thing. Oh, and the apology is accepted because that is, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. No, we're not reblogging that. I'm trying to get the character sheet again. Give me a sec.
No, you're fine.
If you were wondering why we had to split this into 2 parts, we had to take a brief break to eat. So, I briefly closed the sheet so I could get some fucking dinner.
Yeah.
And my dinner, if you are curious, is watermelon cubes. It's cooked cabbage with some form of seasoning my sister won't tell me about, Italian pasta, and a hot dog.
Nice.
I would have maybe gotten more, but the thing is, they didn't tell me they were making this, so I had 2 burritos earlier. I don't want to overdo it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just went out to McDonald's really quickly and got dinner because I was really hungry. I didn't have the materials on me to cook something fast. I'm like, Well, screw it. Just go to McDonald's.
Yeah. So that is 21. 18 plus 3.
Yeah, Mad Lad isn't not obvious, but at the same time, Mad Lad's more is definitely mad, but it's not at Belle. It's not at anyone but himself. He's definitely mad at himself. Just you assume for losing. You assume it's for losing, and it's just more like it also has a mixture of a determined look on his face that is just like he is a yeah. It's just very it's sort of this mix of anger and determination that he's just like you also get a good feeling of what he is waiting for now. It sort of just dawns on you. And say, yeah, it's not that bad weather, but it's not just taking the bug out for the walk, as you would say, that is on his mind.
Sorry. Yeah, I was listening, just having another bite of metal.
No, you're fine.
It has so many seeds in it. I'm glad they're like the white seeds that I could eat normally, but like, ah! Texture. It's the texture of the seeds that kills me.
Yeah, feel that.
Anyway, so he can kind of guess, but he's not going to ask about it immediately, mostly because it seems like he's not talking about it directly. So it may be a sensitive topic to talk about.
Mm-hmm. He could definitely get it at that, yes.
And it's not like Belle isn't completely clueless. He has heard at least a little around the grapevine, and even a little from Rogue for himself, that, hey, so the last hunting party didn't go well. I might have temporarily died, but I'm back. It's fine. The price was paid. I'll have to think and strategize a little more before scheduling the next hunting party, but, you know. Also, be careful going into the woods. There was an ettercap issue at one point, but it's not near us. Just, like, be careful and report if anything is unusual. But Belle isn't going to ask about it. Instead, he wants to give Mad Lad something else to think about to tide over the day. So it's like, how good are you at keeping letters?
Huh? What do you mean by that? Keeping letters?
Writing letters.
Oh, writing letters? I mean, I can write letters, fine, yeah.
And Mad Lad, if you do turn to look at Belle, you do notice he is holding one of the lovely, fancy little pieces of origami paper. One of the little papers.
Mad Lad looks at the paper. Why do you ask?
It's blank. Well, I'm not asking you to do something for me, but I'm struggling to think of how to word this thing.
Thing?
Well, apparently I had a letter from someone that cared about me saying they were concerned and they wanted to hear back from me because they'd gone to look for me. Which is nerve-wracking in and of itself. We're not going to talk about that. But I wanted to write back and give them some reassurance and maybe tell them where I was so they could find me. But I don't know how to respond to the letter they wrote, is the problem.
I mean, Mad Lad turns more to him. I can give it a shot. I somewhat have.
I just want advice. I don't need you to write it for me. I
could
used
try.
to be good at writing letters. I don't remember how. If you could, and he actually does pull out the paper that he was hiding from you before, which I am actually just going to send to you in DMs, so that you see the full letter.
I mean, Mad Lad looks at this letter. Is this like, Roxas? No, get off the table.
Roxas exists for a moment.
For one moment. They say Mad Lad is like, I mean, I can try my best, but if this letter is some sort of personal letter, and he looks at the letter, he's just like, I mean, it's also very personal to write back. I mean, Mad Lad looks at this letter. He looks at it closely. He's gonna try to roll a wisdom.
Uh-huh. I know I want to write back, but the problem is I don't know how I want to write back. I mean, in my mind, I can tell what I want to tell, but I don't know how to phrase it.
Mad Lad looks at this letter, looks at Belle, looks at this letter, looks at Belle. It's just like looks at this letter. Is this a love letter?
You know Belle is normally a very red devil already. He goes a little redder and avoids looking at you.
Does that kid like ugh? No, say face like ugh, love letter, ugh, love.
Oh, forgive me for asking that, and he's gonna snatch the letter back.
I mean, if you want some just regular advice, I mean,
No, if you're disgusted, I'm not gonna ask. It's fine.
I mean, I've had somewhat similar experience. I mean, I had to write back to my grandparents when I'm not very sure they knew if I was alive or not. I started off with a reassurance that I was okay and where I was. I then told them what happened and kind of then say the people that I met along the way that are like friends and stuff to like keep reassurance, and then I told them and say they're like welcome to like come visit me anytime, if that helps.
Roll me persuasion at disadvantage since you initially had the disgusted reaction.
Look, this is a kid.
I know, but also wrong time.
Wrong time. But this is also a kid who does not know the meaning of subtlety. You know, both of them are above a 10. I say the lowest is a 12, and his modifier is a 1. So it's a 13. It's not half bad.
Not half bad. I need to roll a wisdom save against it, though.
Yeah.
That's a 3. Buddy. I'm glad it's getting that roll out of the way. I'm glad we got a 3 out of the system.
Yeah.
And give me just a minute. Sorry, I had to recalculate Belle's money. Don't worry about it. He doesn't answer immediately, though. You do know he still had taken the letter back out of your hand unless you had resisted.
He did. But he didn't resist.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be a rough swipe, but it was sort of a cartoony. Give me that.
Yeah.
Like you could tell for a split second, you did very nearly close. Scare him right back off into shutting up again. But he sits there a moment, just looking at the paper. And here's where the unfortunate statement on his part comes in. Not because it's meant to be insulting to you, because it's not, but I mean, it is helpful. I don't entirely see how writing a letter to one's grandparents is the same as this, though.
Yeah, that doesn't really take much offense to that. Mainly because he doesn't know what happened. He's like, Mad Lad sort of twiddles his thumbs, and he's just like, well, they're across the sea, and again, well, they thought, I didn't know if they knew if I was still alive because my family, like we may have heard, were at one point pirates, but then they all died, and I never got a chance to get a letter back to my grandparents that I was alive or not.
Belle looks at Mad Lad, sympathetically and very thoughtfully at that. I am going to roll him an intelligence saving throw. The first thing he's going to ask, though, is, I'm sorry, how young were you when you lost them?
Mad Lad freezes. It was, I think, almost 2 years ago, right now, as of now.
How old does Mad Lad look above board? Because I don't know how old the kid is.
He looks about 9, 10 years old. So he was about
Jesus.
8. He was 8 years old roughly when this happened.
Jesus Christ, he's 10? He has an 18 AC and has a gun and he's killed people and he's 10?
He's about to turn 10.
About?
He's still 9 years old.
I say this with every ounce of affection and also concern for Child Protective Services when I say you have the exact same moral compass with your little boy as one of my players did with having their barbarian have a 4-year-old demon child come with them and learn how to be a barbarian.
Yeah.
That child died 5 times, and I brought them back 5 times. And here you are putting a 9-year-old in the line of fire with a gun. Oh. I've made some questionable decisions involving some characters' moral choices, but like, okay.
This is the epitome of child protagonist.
Uh-huh. So Belle looks very You know the face that Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws make?
Yeah, I love that movie.
When little guy is talking about their backstory, and it's a lot worse than you think.
Yeah.
And he's like starting to listen, like, oh, a fascinating story, and then it turns into, oh. His face is Puss in Boots's.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of his mind, he's like, oh, no wonder you were taught to hold a gun for some reason. Oh. In the back of his mind, he kind of thinks back to the fact that he has a wish hidden in his person, on his person, and in the back of his mind, there's kind of the hypothetical thought almost to the wish itself, because it's a wish from his genie friend, of, if I tried to wish him to have his family back that he deserved, would that break the timeline guideline? And it's sort of that hypothetical where the magic sort of answers back that it probably wouldn't break the timeline sort of guideline because, well, reviving people is not breaking a timeline. It would be saying that they never died that would break it. Because the wish that he has can bring people back, it just can't kill them. Or mess with their free will. Mostly because, I mean, if you had a wish that couldn't bring someone back from the dead, that'd be a pretty shitty wish in comparison, because, I mean, we have resurrection spells, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
But he decides, as sympathetic as he is to this, he needs to save that. It's fine. So just... He feels bad, and he's not as stiff toward Mad Lad, but... I'm sorry.
I'm doing better now. Though
Though you do seem angry.
recent events may have opened old wounds.
Is it rogue fault?
Yeah. Not like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not him in particular. It's just what happened last time we went out. The events.
No, I've heard. You don't need to explain it, I've heard.
Yeah.
He glances out the window for a moment, toward the howling wind, and I do actually have a soundbite for that. So I'm just quietly putting that in the backdrop. Is that quiet enough? Is that good?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Well, I don't
Does
hear
it
it right now if
the
you're
audio?
currently playing it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Let me turn it up a little. Now?
I think it's only on your side that's picking it up.
Motherfucker. Okay, fine.
It's okay, I pat you.
I tried to be immersive.
No,
I
I
I have an entire soundboard for D&D. It gave me a soundboard for D&D, but God forbid I can't use it.
I
Smack!
I feel that. I feel that. Say I pat you.
I even have a soundboard for fucking for spells. Like I got a fucking I got a necromancy spell. I got sound bites for pretty much every spell in the book from this stupid soundboard. You tell me the wind doesn't pick up? Ah!
Yeah. Yeah.
Did the necromancy spell even pick up?
It did pick up, but if it's continued
Oh
to play on your end, it's not. I'm not
no.
hearing it.
The spell effect are one-time plays. The wind was a looping effect, which means you have to turn it up for you to hear it. Like this, I guess?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Would that impede with my audio any, though?
It does make it awkward because it cuts in and out with you speaking. Like I can only hear it when you talk.
Ah, funky. Is this any better?
It's really awkward again. It's just like
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah, we'll just stop
Yeah,
it. We'll
say
stop it.
it would be
We
fine
can
if you like continue to like constantly talk, but I don't think that would be good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's just wind outside, and you know there's probably going to be more rain later. Wow, the sunset outside my window is really nice. Anyway,
Nice.
but Belle decides he's not really fit in the place to comment on that because while he does have advice for it, Mad Lad's not asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And Belle did just barge in with letter advice, so it's like he's not really in any place for that. But he does look back at the letter and at his blank piece of paper. How would you go about the letter if you didn't fully remember your grandparents, though?
My lad thinks.
Like, you remember them somewhat, but not nearly as much as you want.
I probably maybe start with the situation with how I lost my memory in the first place and how I remembered that you were or those people were important, the people you're trying to write to, but you're still trying to figure out what's what, and you are say you're sorry you can't remember them, but you're also maybe trying to get those memories back. Maybe something like that.
Maybe. It gets quiet again as the wind howls outside. I think the only time you remotely hear any conversation is when you actually hear arguing between some others getting back into the treehouse and offloading groceries. That was like, we shouldn't have gone out. I knew the wind was gonna blow away your hairpiece, but no, you didn't listen. And just, folks that were out in the weather severely regretting not tying anything down.
Yeah.
And one of them remarking on the fact that water was poured on them at one point because a spat of rain moved through. But Belle just... I mean... I think I can try, but the only downside is I also still have to keep this letter to 50 words only. That's how the paper birds work. And I am not... simple.
You can write at the end of your letter like part 1, part 2, part 3.
I don't send letters in parts. And he just sort of leans forward and pulls on his ears a bit.
I don't know what to say then. I say that would be.
I have a lot to say, but the problem is the letter wants me to keep it to 50. I know for a fact, I don't even remember any of the love letters I've written, but I know they wouldn't just be 50 words. I can promise they're not.
Yeah, I'll just take your word for that. I mean, I'm not into the lovey-dovey stuff, but I also understand that
you're fine. Sorry, you were saying?
But I also understand that, like, despite the lovey-dovey stuff, like, they're a very important person to you. Like, my mom had a dad, and they love each other, and even though when they kiss, it was like, ugh, it was they. I knew like it was still like love is good in general. It's just when it's just like the kissing and the
You're in the cooties phase, I understand.
the what face? Oh yeah,
Cooties phase. You know. Oh, love is gross, kissing's gross. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. I never went through that phase because I always liked I always loved the little stories of princesses finding love and that kind of thing. Don't tell anybody I told you that, by the way, or I will kill you.
I mean,
Don't. He is pointing a very threatening claw in your direction.
fair.
have
I'm
an
gonna
image.
probably go to you one way or another, anyways. Eventually.
I probably would not say that, but I'm glad you get the threat at least. Look, I have an image to maintain. If they found out I liked the romantic stories, or if my favorite story is the Nutcracker, they probably would never stop talking about it.
I mean, the Nutcracker's not that bad. It's more musical than anything.
It depends on the adaptation, but fair. Are you upset that you lost?
Yeah.
Do you want one more match?
Yeah.
We'll see how the weather does tomorrow. How's that?
Alright. He does give a small smile.
I'm warning you, though, if you bring that beetle back, I'm going to call reinforcements again.
Alright. It'll just be you as a one-on-one.
There you go. And he does reach up and he does ruffle the hair. And because he's so used to you using gunpowder to make it silver, he almost checks his hand for dust. But no, it's clean.
Yeah, Mad Lad is Jekyll. Redesign.
Mm.
It's finally naturally silver.
Huh. Alright, well, I'll leave you to it. If you can't sleep with the storm out, just tell me. I'll see if I can find a way to distract you. He just waves a dismissive paw, pulls up the pieces of paper, and I'll see what I can do with the tips. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And off he goes.
Mad Lad
The
smiles.
day passes. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Mad Lad smiles. He's like, you know, the devil. He like thinks to himself. He's like, you know, the devil's not that bad of a person after all.
I love that everybody's getting used to the social aspect, and just then we're eventually gonna have to get to the part where the devil has to do his job, and nobody's gonna like him anymore.
Look, Mad Lad's gonna try to make a deal with the devil. Cause he knows
I know.
he knows where he's going, but he's gonna try to pull it in his favor, but also helping Belle as much as he can.
I appreciate his thought, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
So, would you do me a favor and roll me 3 more d20?
Alright.
If you get bad weather this time, we'll say the 4th day is just naturally clear for you, or I'll just also roll Belle's die.
Alright. You know, I'll just do it Avre and see. So since just get all the rolls right here. 3d20. So 9, 7, and 4.
Perfectly clear weather. The sun is shining. The weather is normal for the season, and I say normal temp, so it's not hot. It's nice and cool. The breeze is good.
Yay.
And perfect visibility. Of course, you still have to contend with the fact the ground is a little muddy, but, like, the day is still clear and fine otherwise.
Mad Lad is fine with mud. He could deal with mud.
Mm-hmm. It takes you a minute of going through morning routines. You're not approached by Belle immediately. In fact, you don't see him immediately. And eventually it makes sense as to why. because Belle wakes up late.
Nice.
He wakes up late, he has both breakfast and lunch, decides to take a bath, but then you do hear audible grumbling about how it's not the best bath, but it's still a bath. And when next you see him, when he comes into the kitchen for his food and to clean things up, put some dishes up, his other paw, and I say other paw, even though both of his paws are full with dishes, he has sprouted a third, fourth, and fifth arm that are helping with other things to carry. He doesn't seem to have noticed this has happened, by the way.
Uh-huh.
One of them appears to be holding a piece of paper that he's reading, and it doesn't look like the paper bird or the letter.
Yeah. Mad Lad finds him at this. He's just like, dang. That's a lot of arms.
What? What? He kind of gawks at himself a minute. What? When did... Excuse me. He pokes one of the arms, and one of the arms actually turns to him with the dishes in hand. Sorry, the fuck are you? The arm shrugs, and then puts a dish away. Alright, set everything down. Hang on. No, I'm not having 5 arms at once. Back you go. And he's quickly hurrying the dishes away, and then sort of has to, like, reabsorb the limbs, because why? Okay.
That's some cool devil shit.
You thought that was cool?
Yeah. You got five arms on each side to do something as they get stuff done a lot faster.
That wasn't 5 on each side, but I guess when you put it like that.
Besides,
One of the arms sprouts back out to give you a thumbs up, and then he deliberately yanks at his tail to pull it back into his body.
I mean, the devil's supposed to be a shapeshifter, so...
Yes, but normally I'm supposed to have control over what I do.
But you're
Don't
also
know why I did that.
I mean, you also have memory issues, so now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
He gives you a briefly unamused look at the famous quote.
Yeah, Mad Lad's smiling.
Anyway, before we get to our sparring, I was just trying to figure something else out. It's another one of the pieces of paper I have.
Oh?
So, I have this thing. And the thing he's holding is the piece of paper that you recognize was not the paper bird or the letter. It appears to be a rolled up sort of parchment scroll. And when he opens it up, it unravels all the way to the floor. When you look at the list, when he holds it for you to see, you see glowing text in a fine cursive ink on the page. It's a list of names, but at the top, written in Infernal, is to-do list and grocery list. But you don't see any groceries aside from the names. I don't get this part.
Names.
Look, I assume the to-do list is gathering people's souls. I can kind of gather. Don't get why there's groceries on it. Well,
Doesn't
I
the
mean,
devil
why
eat souls?
I'm gonna roll him a memory check to see if he remembers that. It's gonna be very funny if he doesn't. I said it would be funny if he doesn't, and then the dice said bet and went nat 20 instead. Okay. Oh, this is my grocery list. Guess it makes sense why I'm still hungry after having several sandwiches. Huh.
Huh. So, you can, like, eat mortal food, but it doesn't necessarily fill you up like it. Like the other souls do. Huh.
Well, I suppose it's in a way I do feel full, but in a way I still feel hungry.
I mean,
Maybe it's like a second stomach situation? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's also like vitamins in a way. Like you get your like nutrients and like power from the souls.
Oh, that would probably explain it. It's more like an essential part of the diet, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Probably
word.
also explains why I've lost muscle value and weight, because I am very not bulky.
Nope, you aren't.
Anyway, not important. I'll figure out what to do about that later. You wanted a fight, right?
Yes.
Well, come on. Weather's good. Let's get outside. Get your boots on.
All right, all right. That lad's still a
And
little.
no bug. No bug.
Can he at least watch?
He can watch. He just can't intervene. Otherwise, I get to call my minions again.
All right.
Should I call them minions? What else can I call them? My imps? My henchmen? No, that's not right. Minions?
I Minions is the shorthand word, other than henchmen.
I know, but like, is it correct to call them minions and henchmen? I mean, no, I'm overthinking it. Head outside. Come on.
Yeah, Mad Lad just shrugs. He's just like, I don't know how your system works.
Unfortunately, Belle doesn't remember it either. So, the sad thing is, calling them minions and henchmen would be fine. He just doesn't remember being fine with that yet.
Yeah, Mad Lad, they go out to where they sparred before. Mad Lad summons Red and has him sit on the sidelines.
Just for funsies, Belle is in fact going to summon a couple of the imps again, just so they can watch. Look, if you get an audience, he's gonna give himself one. Maybe.
It's an audience of one, and it's just one bug. Just one baby bug.
You do hear him say in Infernal quietly, look, I don't know if you have too much free time, but I'm going to be having another sparring match, and he decided to put someone in as his audience. I don't know if you wanted to watch me fight or not. But none of the imps even complained. They literally beelined for the sidelines. One of them even pulled out an imaginary bleacher set. The imps are immediately ride or die for their boss. you know, for their baba, so you know.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give one more a d6 for how many show up. 6!
Yes, I was really hoping that'd be 6.
That was max on the money. So 6 imps and 1 big beetle. Belle looks a little flattered and a little flustered. You saw a little bit of the confidence yesterday, but he's clearly not used to this again. So he's looking almost a little awkward. He's gonna take a deep breath, and I'm gonna roll him a confidence saving throw. Because again, he's not used to enjoying fighting again. Just gotta get past the, what was that? Oh, that's not great. That's a 5. He is looking a lot more awkward today than he is yesterday. Probably because he summoned 6 imps to watch.
Yeah.
So, Red's gonna be staying on the sidelines, right?
Yep.
Same as the imps.
I hope so. There's a lot more than last time.
Well, I mean, I was going to have them stay on the sidelines anyway. I was just saying in case you decided to have him intrude.
I mean, I keep my honor among thieves, as they say. Say honor among my pirate word. He like holds up a hand.
The phrase is no honor among thieves, but fair. Alright, 20 paces apart, same as before.
And Mad Lad before goes to 20 paces exactly.
And Belle is, of course, going to... You notice he kind of opens his wings up, but he does need to do a con save as he tries to stretch again, because you know he's been trying to get more use out of his wings so they stop cramping so much, because, he bound them for several months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a 14 plus... Yeah, 14 plus 4 is 18. Yeah, his wings have been doing better. I may not need to roll him con saves after this. maybe.
Nice.
Depending on, as long as you don't shoot the wings, it's fine. I say that genuinely, please. They are sensitive little things. Just sort of stretches him out. You can almost see him doing some yoga poses, like some ready stretches as he's getting through.
Mad Lad does a few stretches too. Might as well.
And he semi-nervously summons the pitchfork again, and it appears again, so he grabs it. Significantly less nervous now that he has it.
Mad Lad gets out his pistol, and he gets out. Wait, I need to check. I need to double check something because I keep forgetting if this is. No, it's not. Okay, he just gets out his. He just gets out his regular pistol. Because I keep forgetting that. Oh, sorry. You go.
No bragging if we win, right?
Okay, we're keeping that rule. Okay, sounds good.
I wasn't going to say it was a rule so much as just leave me my dignity.
I mean, you already beat me once.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just sometimes, children like to tell all their little friends when they beat someone big and scary. So,
I mean, you're also not wrong.
He's going to give you a bow. On your mark. Get set. He bows down fairly far. I'm going to roll him something real quick. And when he pulls his head back up, he smiles. I would like you to roll me a perception check.
Alright. Perception. What is that? Ooh! That's a good one. That's a... Let's see. How does one do math? Yes, that's a +6, so... That's a 25.
Okay, so on a 25, you do see him with something. And when he says, go, you see what it is. A tiny, tiny little ball on the tip of his tongue. Roll initiative. You are taking a fireball immediately.
Ah, I see.
There's normally... If it was just his normal magic, I would not flavor it with a material component, but for the sake of the fact that he used a sorcery point to subtle cast it, there is no verbal or somatic component. So
yes, and that's a good initiative for Mad Lad. That's gonna be a 22.
Nice. Give me a hot minute. And 16, we're going to resolve the fireball first. So you need to make me a dex save.
Alrighty.
And you said, what was your initiative?
22. Can I argue advantage because he saw the fireball coming?
No.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, and that's Dex, which is gonna be... It's gonna be a 16.
Alright, you'll be taking half of 8d6.
Alright.
So you succeeded. The DC for him, at the moment, sadly, is only 14. But you'll be taking half of 8d6. So let me get his funny little card suit dice. His funny little casino die. 3 out of the 4 die rolled a 6 immediately, so it's 666.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I know it's
I'm also gonna
unintentional, but still, I find that I love that.
Nah, that's good. And I'm gonna be writing down the damage so I can do the math. So,
All right.
and that's the first 4. So 3d. So that's 3 6s and a 1. Now for the next one. Okay, so so you succeeded. The full damage that you would have taken would have been 36. Allow me to divide 36 for you. Because if it was 26, it would have been easier, but no.
Mm-hmm.
You will be taking 18 fire damage to start.
18 fire damage. All right.
And let me pull up my soundboard before you start your turn. Because I do have a soundbite for this one, and I'm hoping it plays. Fucking damn it.
Good day for a swell battle. And begin!
Ooh, yes. Yes.
So, the fireball envelops you. And you shake off a good portion of it, but that was almost a max damage fireball. That's a little scary. And, yeah. Initiative has started. Belle is only slightly airborne. He's hovering, so he's not standing on the ground, but he's like his feet have barely left it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning he would not take any damage if you knocked him down right now.
Which is fair.
So, your initiative was, you said 22.
Yes.
So you start. You just had to get out that little surprise round of, oh, fireball!
Fireball.
So the surprise round pretty much passes. And we basically skip around back to you because I don't think Belle would have attacked you again immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just mark that his spell slots are correct because I realized I didn't fix them after the first fight. So give me a
That's
minute.
fair.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. You're up.
Mad Lad takes in a deep breath, and he's gonna use I can't speak. He's gonna use his second wind ability and heal up from that initial surprise amount of damage.
Is that a bonus action or main action?
That
Just
is
curious.
actually a bonus action.
Neat. Cool.
And that is a D10 of healing. +3.
Don't mind me, I am pulling the watermelon back over to me so I can continue crunching, perhaps.
Alright. That's a 3 +3, so it's just going to be healing 6. And Mad Lad is trying to say... And with that, Mad Lad takes out his pistol. And he first is actually, I forgot I had that, but I don't think I'm going to use that just yet. He is just going to, right now, just straight up attack the devil. And he's going to use his adept marksman ability. And
Presumably for advantage.
Huh?
I assume adept marksman means I assume you're going for advantage?
Nope. He is gonna he first is gonna see if he hits because he's gonna try to do a wing shot. Ooh, I think it's with a 17 on the die. I think that hits.
Roll again.
It's a +9. He has a +9 to it. All right, but all right. It's 17 on the die +9, but I thought the 17 would say we get it. So.
No. The 17 would have hit. He just used silvery barbs.
Ah, I see.
So roll that again. Take the lower roll.
Fair enough. That's a say 6. Roll 6 plus 9, which is a 15.
Just misses.
It sort of ricochets.
So, you first. Sorry.
Say the bullet sort of ricochets. Say clips off the wing as he was trying to knock you prone.
It looks like you would have hit the wing, but in truth, you actually see the trident was spinning. Silvery barbs, you magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another or yourself.
I know. I know this. I love this spell.
Yeah. Love it to pieces. But basically, it was a visual trick of the light. And because you didn't hit, I believe that's now his turn.
Let's see. Mad Lad is actually... do I want to use it right now? Yeah, he's probably gonna... Actually, no, he's gonna hold off for what? He's gonna hold off.
Mm-hmm. And give me a minute because I have to actually pull up something else. So give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm deciding whether he sticks to the trident and spell strategy or decides to do something fun. And I'm sorry, I see the 6 and 9 and my brain immediately goes, ha, nice.
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 Look, it's just one of those unsaid rules, man.
Mm-hmm. Give me just a moment. And I'm gonna pull up... It's not necessarily a spell he has, it's more so an ability, but I'm just looking up because it's named after the spell.
I see, fair enough.
Give me a minute. We're gonna ignore some of those because that's just his natural state, so it's not necessarily anything different. And how many do you have? Oh, neat. So, Belle sort of scopes the situation out, and you wanted to shoot wings. That's fine. The first thing is he'd like to make sure that maybe you don't touch his wings. So he kind of reasons, you know, I don't really need these wings to fly, do I? And you watch, as still spinning the trident, Belle's appearance changes. And as the trident slowly withdraws back into the creature's forehead instead of into a hand, what you are looking at it has the face of the devil, but it doesn't fully look like the devil. At least not that you were taught, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because the devil, in most teachings, is just humanoid. Goat legs. Hairy. Pitchfork. Pointy ears, pointy horns, ooga booga. Spider tail, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is not it. What you see before you is a large quadruped of gleaming ruby red scales, blazing fur, long ears, and a pair of shining golden horns, and a set of shining golden hooves and claws. What you see before you is a Kirin.
Ooh, Kieran, nice.
But it's different than the Kirin you may have heard about. You may roll an Arcana check if you like.
Sure. He's not the best at it, but he'll at least try.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's gonna be a 14.
Kirin are usually celestials. Celestials that tend to serve higher powers or act as mystical deities or spirits on their own. Some Kirin are actually known to be Deva in the shape of Kirin, but you have no way of knowing what Belle is or was. Kirin usually are depicted as more resplendent and serene looking, and Belle, well, he looks like a mixture of a dragon, an ox, and a few other things. It's not chaos. It is very much closer to the mythological, more warlike version of the Kirin, or Qilin, as it is. So, a little more dragon ox than traditional D&D Kirin would be, but the purpose is there. And Belle's mischievous face is cracked in a grin. What you think you're looking at, maybe, is the concept of a Kirin that has fallen from the usual serene grace. Or at least the shape of one. Because, yes, he is gleaming with sacred fire, but it's not necessarily the fire of heaven, if you get my meaning. It's not necessarily the fire of Mount Celestia.
Mm-hmm.
Not that heaven exists here, but you know.
Uh,
But
yeah.
you do get just the briefest telepathic message of, you're not gonna tell anybody. Just said with the utmost affection. So Belle's main action was turning into the Kirin. His next one is going to be moving forward and not getting quite near you. But he's going to try and use a sacred fire. So this is going to be a 1d20 plus 9 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that wasn't an at 1. I would have felt a little more embarrassed.
Was it a 2?
No. Here's the thing. It was a 7, but it looked like a 1 from the angle it was at.
Oh,
I was a little nervous.
No, I understand that.
So, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 does not hit you, I believe.
Nope.
And yeah, so the first thing is you managed to adeptly dodge this blow of sacred unholy fire. Which, funny enough, it doesn't look that different to you from what you think holy fire would be by description, but you think maybe this is just hellfire in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And Belle he's sort of using his hovering to leap between the trees. And even though he's size large, you notice he's not breaking any of the branches he lands on. Huh. Anyway, he has at least, I believe, a third cover. It's not the full cover of the trees yet. So he has just partial cover, I think is the term?
Mm-hmm.
Cover. Hang on, let me
Yeah.
pull it up real quick. Quick reference, cover. Okay, so that would be half cover. We'll say it's half cover. So he just has a +2 to his AC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, your turn now. Also, since he can't use the inspiration on himself, one of the imps is just casually inspired by seeing him turn into this. You can just hear this infernal cheering.
Mad Lad looks at this. He's just like, shit, weird stuff is happening, and I don't know how to counter it exactly. However,
And that's the point that he's using it for, is to try and give you something to do.
and Mad Lad, thinks about something. He's actually gonna see if he can pull something out of his hammer space. Yep, he does, and he takes out what looks to be a soda can. And he takes a swig. Because this is a magical item that I got an EGAT a while back during the Masked game as a reward called Mana Fizz. And I get to roll from a D100 chart to see what random effect that affects Mad Lad.
Oh, it's wild magic soda. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, it's basically a different flavor. This is its own custom chart, wild magic soda.
Neat. Cool. Let's see what happens.
Roxas, no, off the table. You're not playing with the dice.
A baby boy. He's just a baby boy. Let him live. Meanwhile, I'm gonna have a bite of my hot dog. Well,
One second,
don't
I need
mind
to
me.
wait. I need to make sure the cat doesn't play with the dice.
You're good. I'm gonna mute. Take your time.
All right, now, all right. So what happens? Mad Lad drinks from the soda, and he's like, huh, nothing happened. Then suddenly a unicorn appears right next to him.
Oh, neat. Let me look up the unicorn stat block real quick.
Yeah. A unicorn controlled by the DM appears in a space between 5 feet of you. It disappears 1 minute later.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm pulling this up too.
No, you're good. You're good. So that's gonna be controlled by me, and I will be fair with the unicorn. You can trust that.
Fair enough.
Look, it's Celestial versus former Celestial at this point. It's gonna be a personal blood battle at this. You have officially become secondary.
No, I'm more thinking like the unicorn is a good aligned creature, and this is a devil. I'm just like,
Yeah, no, that's the fun part. So you drink the soda and nothing happens at first. And for a moment, you almost think it comes out of you, like a sort of Athena moment where the unicorn comes from your forehead. But that's not true. It's just the fact that it suddenly gives you a weird sort of caffeine rush for like 5 seconds before wearing off. And in that rush, you briefly catch a glimpse of Mount Celestia. Of a sun that shines with radiance untarnished by any atmospheric pollution, clouds that take any shape you can imagine and look soft enough to sleep on, trees that smell cleaner, and air that smells fresher than anything you've known. And above you, leaping out from this plane of goodness and holy sanctity, is a radiant white steed with a gleaming horn. A Toonkind unicorn in the same style as the last unicorn. This large equine lands before you, and you can actually hear telepathy very plainly. Just this serene voice of, "Stay calm, I'm here to help."
that
Belle, however, sees the unicorn, and you immediately see any playfulness in that face has vanished.
lad's first eye sparkle is like, is it a bit much that I ask that can I ride on your back into battle?
The unicorn almost seems to turn to you, but pauses upon seeing what's before it, and I need to roll it a roll of recognition. So that is a... If I can check correctly what history is history intelligence? Okay, good. I was going to say, if history is wisdom, and that's a weird one.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's intelligence.
Let me take one more bite of a hot dog. Let me mute again real fast.
You're fine.
Don't mind. At first, you get that serene, calm sort of feeling. Everything's safe. Everything's gonna be okay. The unicorn is here to fight the big, nasty... And then you realize where your thoughts are going for a moment, and you're like, well, I don't think the devil's big and nasty. But that's because that's not what you were thinking. That's what the unicorn was thinking. As the unicorn catches sight of the devil and stops, and you see that those long equine ears pin back. You don't hear the telepathy. Instead, you basically see a sort of expression exchange go on. The unicorn goes from looking serenely at you to glaring at Belle in this fallen Kyrian shape, and the Kyrian goes to glowering. Of all the things you could have summoned with a soda can.
I didn't even know it could do that.
We're not having any harm, Miss Unicorn. We're just sparring. You understand what sparring is, right? Or are you still a little too fruity-tooty to actually get engaged with any fights with anything else? The unicorn stomps her hoof once or twice. You do not hear what she says in response, but Belle's expression looks insulted. The next thought you were answered with, since you tried asking, can I ride on your back, is the Jindal's thought of, no, young one, I'm afraid you cannot.
Dang it was worth a try. He murmurs to himself.
I'm afraid this battle is just between the two of us.
Whoa,
I would
whoa.
stay back if I were you.
Whoa. This, like he says, this is just a sparring match. You're more than welcome to take a seat in the peanut gallery, though. And he points towards the bleachers of a bug and then 6 imps.
The ears pin back at the side of the imps as well. You do not think pointing this out has helped the situation at all, actually. So, would you remind me, I have control of the unicorn, so I assume I roll initiative for it, right? Or is it moving on your initiative?
It does not specify, so I guess it would have its own initiative.
Alright. Does the Ravenloft thing have a unicorn stat blocker? I'm gonna have to fucking roll this thing by hand. It does not. Understandable. It's Ravenloft. I don't know why they would.
It's in the basic rules with the unicorn.
Okay, so dexterity 1d20 plus 2. So now the unicorn's into an initiative. That is a 14. Now, the unicorn does mostly follow your orders, but unfortunately the problem is you have unwittingly summoned one in front of the devil. So,
Yeah, Bad
orders,
Lad
but also
looks at his
you have
soda.
essentially summoned enemies in front of each other, apparently.
Yeah, Bad Lad looks at his soda and decides to spill out the rest of it. He's just like, I thought this would maybe give me like a fireball or something, or maybe something more like technically this is useful, but it's the wrong time and the wrong place. But at the same time,
it is very cool. You have a right to have your eyes sparkle, but it was the worst time and the worst place for a unicorn. Like above board, I do think it's sick as hell, but while the unicorn may listen to you, it's still gonna fight the devil.
Bad Lad is trying to think. It's just like this is a sparring match, but he's not. It's just like he's like thinking, should I fight the unicorn too? Because this is a sparring match, and I don't want the devil to actually get hurt.
Now, how long does the unicorn stay up for? Did
Only
it say
a minute.
1 minute?
Yeah, it's a minute.
Okay, so that's gonna be 10 rounds then. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of you, so the rounds will pass by quickly, but I believe that's the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Belle's turn. And Belle briefly tells you, don't worry, Mad Lad. This won't take me long at all. And Belle decides he's not going to focus his spells on you at the moment because fuck that. Now he has a score to settle. Instead, we're going to use a bonus action to cast Dragon's Breath. And this dragon-headed fiendish Kirin is going to choose... What breath types do you get? Normally you do fire. I'm not entirely sure you want to do fire this time, but normally you do fire. Let's roll a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a 4. Let's do a 1d4, because Belle knows poison's not going to do shit against a unicorn. You know what? We're just going to do a 1d4. One, two, three, 4. Normally, when you see Belle use the breath ability, there's normally fire, which is what you expect. Instead, you see the scales on his stomach and neck start to gleam a light. And Belle is going to move in a way to angle this so it doesn't actually hit you yet. And he is going to use the lightning breath. So a bolt of lightning fires out of his mouth, Godzilla style.
Nice.
And the unicorn needs to make a dexterity saving throw. I believe you don't get any... Yeah, you don't get any funny little magic advantage. Fun. So, that is going to be a dexterity save. What is your dex, by the way? That's just a +2. Okay. So... An 18 will succeed. I believe you take half damage on a failure, if I recall this spell correct. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And... yeah, we'll maintain that it was just a second level casting, so that's just 3d6. So, we're gonna grab... diamond, spade, and... heart. You could have rolled better damage, my guy! It's a 6, a 1, and a 1. That's only 8 lightning damage, and the unicorn takes a grand total of, 4. So, I'm gonna write down the unicorn's hit points because the unicorn doesn't have a stat block on this godforsaken map. The lightning seems to barely nick the unicorn. Which is fine, that was just one of Belle's actions. And, well, action and bonus action. He does get one more action as a Kirin. If I can fucking click on the dang thing again. And that is going to be him actually stampeding forward and making a hoof attack. Absolutely barreling into the unicorn full force. Because Lord knows he doesn't want to try using Radiant on this thing immediately.
Yeah.
So that is 1d20 plus 9. I'd say a 17 plus 9 hits, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is going to be 2d4 plus 5. So that is a grand total of 9 force damage on the Kirin. As you watch as Belle sort of leaps up from the tree using his hovering to get enough air to basically land down on the unicorn and stomp with claw and hoof, earning a pained whinny. So, yeah, this is a hoof-on-hoof violence, so to speak. 4 plus 5, so that's 9. So... the unicorn is looking lightly bruised, at best, but manages to throw Belle off. Which is good for the unicorn, bad for him, because it's his turn. It's the unicorn's turn next.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Belle is actually going to choose to use a legendary action, and is going to make a horn attack while the unicorn is preparing. So that is going to be another attack. And you do realize that Belle was maybe not using that on you for a reason, but the unicorn has no such reservations. He is more than willing to stomp the unicorn in the fucking dirt.
Mad Lad's Mad Lad sees this, is just like, I see. He assumes that Mad Lad still talks. He's just like, so, is this fighting still gonna go on with you? Like, is this okay? Say, is it okay if we still continue spar, or...
I'll see how much of a threat the unicorn is and then get back to you. How's that?
Alright.
And as he says that, he basically stomps one of his claws into the dirt, and his horns take on a more bull-like quality as a 17 plus 9 hits. So that is going to be 3d8 radiant. Does the unicorn take radiant damage is the question. Yes, it does! It's actually not resistant to or immune to that.
I know, it's sort of surprising.
Not the most surprising, but you know what? I'll take what I can get.
I'm surprised it isn't
So-
like resistant at least. But fair enough.
So we're strictly gonna resistant at least, but we're not reflavoring it. So this is Belle's shape is slowly changing out of the Warnian shape, but this is very much Red Bull and Last Unicorn on violence here. This is very much what you're looking at. So first D8.
Yeah, Chaos has also now joined into the crowd and is just handing out popcorn.
That's 3 7s plus 5. That would normally be lucky numbers on a slot machine. Oh my god. So 3 7s plus 5. Somewhere Percy must be feeling so proud. Okay, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 total radiant damage. Ofta.
Yeah.
Fucking ofta.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I put the hit points on the I put the hit points next to Belle. That was incorrect of me.
It's okay.
So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26. So 26. So okay, so 26. Okay. The unicorn is basically... Now, when I say gored, I don't mean gored as in there's actually blood and gore.
No,
I say
don't.
gored as in the full style of the Matador fight.
Yeah.
The unicorn is gored in the front, Belle's sharp, gleaming golden horns piercing into her radiant white flesh, earning a piercing, and you're not sure if it hurts your heart genuinely or if that's just the effect the unicorn has, crying out in abject pain. The unicorn is officially bloodied. It is now at 28 out of 67 hit points. Your unicorn ally is getting stomped into the pavement. It's your turn, by the way, so you can choose what you want to do.
Bad Lad looks at Belle really quickly to give the okay, because he wanted this to be somewhat of a fair spar in a way. He's just like he does want to give like even the silent confirmation, and it's okay to continue on with the fight.
Belle is looking... You're not sure if it's confident or if he's maybe relishing in this. The look you get is brief approval of try me.
Mad Lad's gonna take that challenge, as he is gonna fire his gun, and he is gonna use another adept marksman to make a violent shot.
All right.
So
this is a mythological fight of the ages, I will say.
Mad Lad goes and lines up the shot. However, his gun jams.
Ah, buddy.
Mad Lad is like, fuck, shit, damn it, god damn it. And he...
He's doing his best. He's trying so hard, man.
Yeah, he is. And he's actually gonna waste an action surge to try to fix this.
Alright, I'm gonna mute while you do that. Give me a sec.
Alright, so... I need to double check to see... I need to check something on the pistol. Yeah, it's gonna be higher DC. But a 19 on the die, he fixes it. It takes up his whole action. His whole round, but he fixes his pistol.
what languages do you understand?
He understands Common, Draconic, Giant, Grolix, and Infernal.
So none of the languages that the unicorn speaks, except for telepathy. Got it.
Yeah.
Because the unicorn speaks Celestial, Elvish, Sylvan, and telepathy. That is it. Doesn't even speak Common.
Yeah.
Or at least not physical Common, which makes sense because, horse mouth.
Yeah.
So, is that your full turn then?
That is his full turn. He critically failed his gun, used his resources to get it back up to snuff. Yeah, he is finished.
It is Belle's turn again. And Belle has basically been thrown back into a rush of old battle that he is either not used to or doesn't usually do in front of an audience. So there's something of a thrill to this he hasn't felt in a very long time. And he's gonna go for another horn attack to start. So, come on, Percy, let's smite a unicorn. Come on. That's not smiting a unicorn, but a 19 will hit. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 2d8 plus 5. So that is 16 total radiant damage, as the horn basically pierces further, which severely bloodies the unicorn. And when he throws the unicorn off of his horn, he's going to go for a... Well, we'll go for the last horn and see if that does it. And if it does, then he'll just throw the unicorn down. So that is another 1d20 to hit. Come here, beautiful. $21 will hit. So 2d8 plus 5. And doing precisely 12 hit points, which was what the unicorn had, the unicorn is brought down to 0.
I assume it probably, since the soda says it disappears after a while, I'm assuming that after it hit 0, it just disappeared back to Mount Celestia.
Not quite. I need to roll Belle a wisdom saving throw. Because he did attack the unicorn with killing intent, so... And we discussed before, he didn't realize he was hungry for souls until he knew, so...
Fair enough.
And... odds or evens. Odds that number makes it evens. It sure doesn't. It sure doesn't. So, the unicorn, this resplendent creature that was trying to fight beside you and defend you in combat, this thing you summoned quite innocently, mind you. Now, keep in mind, the fight was still cool. It's not like this was a very gruesome death. This is very much a cartoon violent situation, but this is still a primordial battle between a celestial and a no longer celestial.
Yeah.
And allow me to pull up its info to see if it does go back to Mount Celestia when it dies before Belle can grab its soul real quick.
Don't think it
does. The unicorn, you notice that the unicorn does try to heal itself to get back up, and I will roll to see if it can actually succeed in using this legendary action or not. So give me just a moment. 1 is a success, 2 is a failure. You watch as the unicorn basically stops struggling on Belle's horns, and he removes it from himself and lets the unicorn collapse to the grass. this beautiful creature that was summoned to fight by your side that didn't really fully understand that you were just trying to fight with the devil playfully and not defend yourself because you're a child and this is the devil in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly tries to say something, but it's in a language you don't understand. But it's a language that both heals your ears and hurts your ears in the same breath. It's very melodic and almost tragic to hear in a sound,
Mm-hmm.
which you can kind of assume is celestial. But Belle stomps his talons deep into the unicorn, which just stops it from talking. And as the time ticks down, Belle, you notice, is starting to drool a bit. However, you are going to be given one shot because your turn comes before Belle's. The unicorn is bleeding out in the ground, and you could choose whether to let Belle devour the unicorn's soul and sustain himself, or to do something else. Up to you. It's your turn.
Mad Lad looks at this sort of scene and looks at the scene and he does feel a bit guilty that he summoned this unicorn. It's not what he meant at all. He was hoping for some spell effect, not like summoning unicorn. It's just like Mad Lad looks at it as like, Belle, this is a spar, remember? Let the thing go.
Roll me persuasion.
Alright. What's that? No, that ain't gonna cut it, champ. That's a 4.
We were sparring. We were having an excellent time. Until this prissy little pet. And his talons dig into the unicorn's haunches, barely earning even a keen. Decided to interrupt. I think not. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? Because the persuasion would have taken at least one action to attempt. I will say that.
If it's an action, then that's all Mad Lad can do, really.
Would you like it to be a free action so you can decide if you want an action or not?
I mean, yes, because Mad Lad would probably try to aim towards Belle again to shoot with his gun to see if he can get Belle back into the idea of going back into the sparring. Basically, try to tick Belle off enough to say, "Hey, I'm the target here. You already defeated that foe. You still got me."
All right.
And he's gonna try to do one more violent shot to his last trick up his sleeve. All right. That is going to be double check modifiers. Yes. That's going to be a 16 to hit him.
That doesn't hit. The Kirin normally has an AC of 20.
Oh.
You do not hit.
Yeah, Mad Lad, the shot maybe hits, but the scales are so, sturdy that even the violent blast, just it's still violent. It still somewhat kind of explodes in a way. It's just still ricochets off the scales.
Mm-hmm. Just as a little pling. Also, if anybody recognizes the sound effect, no, you don't. You don't recognize where I got that. Shush. I believe that is your turn, though.
Mad Lad is gonna do one more action as his bonus action, and does mark, since he knew he couldn't really do anything else at the moment to probably stop this. He's gonna at least prepare for the next phase and mark Belle with a hunter's mark.
All right. And as you mark Belle and Belle's turn comes, the unicorn. Initially, I do actually need to roll a death save for the unicorn real quick. It's just a flat old d20. Yeah, that's one failure.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still playing into the cartoon violence part of it. Again, this is a sad moment, but this is still just you were sparring with the devil. I don't quite know what else you expect.
Yeah.
It could be a worse scene, but essentially, yeah, you just see, like, unholy creature descends on holy creature, and basically, you do note that Belle actually does grant the unicorn mercy by means of biting into its neck and just, shaking till it stops.
Yeah.
Which is more of a dragon behavior than an equine behavior. But that makes sense, because again, he's more dragon and ox than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He's this, even though he's lost a decent portion of muscle, he's a bit more, he's a bit more bull than horse. And there still is a lot of dragon in there, so just sort of like a snake or an alligator or any other predatory reptilian creature just bites in and shakes it until it stops.
Mm-hmm.
But when he pulls back, you don't necessarily see it. It's not an on-screen thing.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll me... You can choose one of two rolls. Insight or Arcana. Because you cannot see this traditionally with perception.
Probably insight.
Insight's the correct choice. Make a roll.
Fortunately, low roll, that's gonna be 9, 10, 11.
You do not see Belle devour the soul of the unicorn. To you, it just looks like Belle has mercifully killed the unicorn and it disappears into nothing. The blood on his maw is very much almost an identical color to his scales, which are very nice, mind you. But your unicorn ally has been dealt with. And that was one of his actions.
Yeah, Mad Lad is just like, how the fuck am I gonna defeat this form? That is those scales are very thick.
And Belle sort of stands there for a minute, and you can actually see he cleans a little... He kind of cleans his face up. But see, that wasn't too bad at all. Don't know why I was so worried about that. Now, where were we? Oh, right! And we're gonna go a ranged spell attack on you. That's gonna be 1d20 plus 9. However, a unlucky 13 will miss you. So Sacred Fire does not hit you.
Yeah, Mad Lad barrel rolls out of the way.
Just a little whoosh. And after Belle had killed the unicorn, you do hear the imps basically go into a cheer, because again, this was basically you invited a foreign football team, you get the fight.
Yeah.
And you could hear the little ooh as he misses with the fire, but it doesn't burn anything. Oddly enough, even though it strikes a tree, it doesn't actually leave a scorch mark. Huh. Funky.
Fair enough.
At the moment, that's his turn. Though he gets his legendary actions back since his turn passed, so you know.
Yeah, Mad Lad is just like, how the hell am I gonna deal with this?
While you're thinking of that, he is actually going to use one legendary action to immediately try and Sacred Fire you again. He's trying to give you practice. Stay on your toes. A dirty 20?
A dirty 20 would hit.
Now, keep in mind, what's hitting you is non-lethal compared to the unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 19 radiant damage.
Yeah. 19. Yeah, Mad Lad's bloodied.
And he is just, yeah, that's... Your turn continues now. Legendary actions go off at the start of a creature's turn.
Yeah, Mad
Or
Lad.
at the end of a creature's turn, so that'd be at the end. My bad. So that's at the end of your turn. Go ahead and do your thing first before he decides to, you know.
Alright. Is a Mad Lad is just like, you know, if that's so, Mad Lad is gonna is a I need no, unfortunately is a those are both concentration shoot. Is a Mad Lad is gonna run over and take cover if you were gonna give him that action. Is a he was gonna take cover and try to do another shot.
Alright, 3/4 cover. I'm assuming we'll give you +5 to AC.
Yeah. Which that wouldn't have beat his AC since what was the number of the attack? What was that again? That was what was it to
Dirty
hit?
20. Dirty 20.
Yeah, since it's a +5 AC, that would have made Mad Lad's AC 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 19 wouldn't have hit him.
I said dirty 20.
Yeah, but he would yeah, dirty 20 is a if Mad Lad's taking cover that original hit would not hit him.
Alright, so you've taken cover.
And he does try to take a shot off.
Go ahead.
Which that's gonna be a 19 plus 9. So that's gonna be a 28.
28 will hit. Roll your damage.
Alright. Fortunately, it's not going to be that much with a 6. But at least it's magical damage.
You hit him with a shot, and it nicks him. Your shot barely does anything to him in this shape. And by that I mean 6 damage. It would have been negligible either way, but you think this form is a lot bulkier than his normal one.
Yeah, he could already probably assume that just by it's a Karen. And not only that, bull Karen.
Is that your turn?
Yes.
Alright. So, you're taking cover. That's fine. You can't take cover if he just comes up to you and decides to beat you to death, can you?
True.
So, it's kind of quiet for a moment. You sort of think, huh, he hasn't tried burning the tree or anything. And then you hear the bump, 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 bump.
Oh, wait. Wait, 1 second. I forgot. Need to go another d6 with Hunter's Mark. Which is going to be, yeah, which is going to be a 4. Just so add a 4 to that.
Alright. You have taken a grand total of 10 hit points off him. Congrats.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? Bill does kind of want to be funny. He does kind of want to be funny. So, he's going to look at the situation for a moment. He could just barrel towards you, but the thing is, again, with you it's good fun. With the unicorn, he was genuinely trying to kill.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you taking cover for a moment. There's the cartoon mode of you staying behind the tree thinking, whew. And then, you hear a familiar flame. It's a fireball! Give me a dex save! He's using sorcery points to make you do it at disadvantage.
Let's see. First one's an 18. Yeah, the second one's a 5.
Okay, 8d6. Let's go. Basically, the cartoon moment is, you know when a toon is hiding behind something and then it blows up and they just look like a little smoky bundle of black sticks standing up? Like, they're just black smoky fur.
Mm-hmm.
Except for their eyes, which blink open and they just sort of puff out smoke. That's gonna be you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to write down the damage so I can add it total, because you did not succeed this one. Plus 3 plus 3, and then 4 more! Six, 11, 14, 17, 21, 24, 26, 27 total fire damage.
27?
Uh-huh.
Alright.
And the tree that you were hiding behind is now not existent, as are a good portion of some of the trees around you. And again, in the cartoonish fashion, just...
Yeah, Mad Lad's extremely bloodied now. Burnt, you could even say.
Now, the fireball is an instantaneous thing, so we still, mind you, is actually... I do need to roll in concentration for Dragon Breath. One moment. Just a split second.
Well, Mad Lad needs to roll concentration too, technically.
13. 17 succeeds on the... Yeah, 17 succeeds. So you
yeah,
did him
say
damage.
Mad Lad succeeds his too. Hunter Bark is still active.
Uh-huh. And since he has... Even though he has the breathing ability, since he has burned away your cover, he's just going to, he's gonna finish it off by lighting the birthday candle that is you! With a ranged spell attack. Well, glancing through it. Sacred Fire is an innate thing to it. It's considered a ranged magical attack, but it's listed as a spell for some reason. Nah, we're gonna go with a horn instead, but instead of impaling you, he's just barreling towards you full force. Mm-hmm. So you're just gonna he's just gunning for you. 12, however, does not hit you. So
nope.
Let me see, has he hasn't used it on this day yet, because this was a fresh day. I think he can use the 2d4 favored by the gods ability. So 15. 17 doesn't hit you, does it?
Nope.
Just misses. You narrowly dodge him pretending to be a bull and bowl you over. His head goes back to looking like a dragon, and it is your turn. He is above you, though. He is right in your space, and he just snorts out a puff of smoke. Looking like he's quite enjoying the fight, even though you are very much losing. Actually, that makes sense why he's enjoying it. It's because he's winning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is still the devil at the end of the day.
Mad Lad just pants. And he can't take another hit if he's actually hit. However, he wants to still make sure that this kid is not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to do something creative. he wants to use Thorn Whip. He wants to use Thorn Whip and just tug this bull's horn to the ground.
Thorn Whip?
Yes.
That is a cantrip, but it is a spell, yeah?
It's a spell. And he wants to he wants to he's basically using the Thorn Whip to grab the horn and tug it to the ground, and that's how he's doing damage to it.
I'm gonna roll him a 1d2 real quick. I'm gonna roll him in odds or evens. So before you roll whether that hits or not.
Alright.
Odds he does, evens he doesn't. Odds he does a thing, evens he does not. You do not get to Thorn Whip. Counter spell. His last 3rd level spell slot.
Damn.
You try to get the cool moment up. You try to go up and lasso, but he kind of sees what you're doing. The Thorn Whip connects, but when you pull, it just snaps. And the part that's attached to him just goes up in smoke. Cute. Very cute.
I mean, look. I feel like I would have had a better chance with Red with you in this form.
You said you wanted a one-on-one. I was willing to acknowledge the one-on-one. I wanted to give you something creative and fun to fight.
I mean, looks at this form. Technically, you have.
Admittedly, I wasn't prepared for you to summon a unicorn out of a soda can.
It wasn't. I didn't even know it could do that.
Well, maybe know what something does next time you use it.
I've been holding it off for such a long time, and you threw a curveball at me first.
Fair. But I mean, having scales that can take a hit is a little better than having fur that takes shots very easily. I will tell you that. And he sort of reaches up and just sort of cling cling, runs his claws along his belly plates, kind of like Smog, in a sense. They do no damage to himself, but like, he is inflating himself like a little. In all fairness, he hasn't had confidence in a while. Is it petty? A little, but he's not rubbing it in your face too much. He's not bragging. He's just like, this was fun. This is fun. I enjoy this, is what he's basically trying to say. If you would like to, you can invite Red in, and we'll see if you have a fair shot with him.
I mean, not very sure how much of a fair shot. I mean, even now, you basically got me cornered. One more hit and I'm done.
Oh, I can fix that. You're not gonna get any of your already spent stuff back, but I mean, I can let you last a few more hits if you want.
Mad Lad looks at Red and says, he then eyes the minions too. He's just like,
the minions honestly are leaning in so interested as to whether Belle's gonna win or he's gonna give you the chance to like try a round 2 even though you get none of your abilities back.
Alright. And Mad Lad whistles and Red is right there. Okay,
so I believe it's roll initiative for Red, or does he go right after you?
He goes right. It's a part of the ability. He's right with me.
Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get you healed up. You're not gonna heal the full. Mm-hmm. He's just gonna make sure you last another hit.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that you don't know that he's out of 3rd level spell slots, but he is.
Mm-hmm.
And counter spell is instantaneous. It's not a concentration, so Dragon Breath is still up on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And let me double check the Kirin real quick.
Access, no, off.
And we're gonna say that was at Because it is, I believe that's the end of your turn since you tried using Thorn Whip. It is now Belle's turn.
Yeah.
So he's going to use a main action to cast Cure Wounds on you.
Alright.
This is another instantaneous one. It doesn't disrupt Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, say usually Cure Wounds doesn't, but continue.
So you are going to take a... And he's actually going to do it at... Nah, he'll give you a second level. Why not? He'll use a second level on you, sure. So you are going to heal for 2d8 plus 3, if I'm correct? Yeah, 2d8 plus 3. So let me roll that. You heal for 14 hit points.
Alright. Still bloody, but
Feel
at least he could maybe survive one hit if he's lucky.
Feel better?
A bit.
Wonderful. Brace yourself. You say a bit, and he's immediately going to try and headbutt you. You are going to... He's going for a horn attack, basically.
Fair enough.
You were allowed to invite Red in. Red is there, and you were healed a little. Now he's just like, okay, back to the boxing match. Bonks you in the head.
Mm-hmm.
$12 plus 9. So... 21, since you're no longer behind cover, I believe will hit.
Yeah.
Alright. 2d8 plus 5. You take 12 radiant damage.
Alright.
I assume what he just healed you for is gone now.
Yeah. Well, not all the way, but still.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And Belle. Now, one thing I notice you haven't been doing, and I'm going to tell you that you are able to do this whenever he moves away, is since he doesn't disengage, you are able to try and use opportunity attacks on him.
I was wondering about that. It sounded like I couldn't use opportunity attacks.
No, you're allowed. You've been allowed for a while.
Here's the thing. You've made it sound like it was instantaneous. It didn't sound like it was more of a magical ability than a regular move away. And that's what has been confusing me.
No, he's hovering is the thing. He hovers.
Yeah, you haven't been really making that clear, I will say right now. It sounded like it was more magical abilities.
My apologies. He has been hovering. You can smack him.
Alright. He's
going to hover away from you. You can smack him.
Which is fair. And Mad Lad will smack him.
But yes, that is my apology. He has been hovering. Hovering is...
Yeah, I just want to let you know, like, that whole entire time I thought it was, like, magical bullshit, and I didn't want to say anything, because...
No, it's not magical bullshit. It's just flight without wings.
No, I knew that, but the way you made it sound it sounded...
How am I supposed to describe him flying without wings aside from hovering?
It was just the way you were describing him move away, but that's besides the point. Alright.
That's fair. I was just trying to channel the more magical equine ability, but I get what you mean. I apologize. That is on me. So yes, you can take opportunity attacks, and I encourage it.
Yeah, he would have been doing some this whole time if he was able to. That would have changed the whole fight.
I'll allow you 2 opportunity attacks since you missed one before, okay?
Alright.
So, roll to hit twice.
Alright, so the first one would be... Alright. Roll 13. 13 plus 9. And then the second one is going to be 18 on the die, so
To
Roll.
be fair, I did feel slightly bad because I didn't know why you didn't do it before. You didn't use opportunity attacks when Belle was flying with his normal wings either in the previous fight.
Say you. Say it. It was hard for me to tell by the way you were describing it if it was. Say Matt. It was an innate ability. If it was just like a regular move or not. Say.
It's regular movement speed.
All right.
Whenever a creature hovers, unless it has the thing that says flyby on it, you can hit it. Or try to hit it, at least. Okay, so that is 22 and 27. Both will hit.
Yep.
Roll your damage.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I
Alright.
apologize if you chew. I am having pasta.
Oh, you're fine. So that's alright. So that's alright. I'm just gonna add this all up. So roll 8 plus 4 plus add the other two together. So that would also make 8. So that's gonna be 20 damage. Rock.
Down to. You have battered him.
And on say
That is your reaction, and he moves away. That is the end of his turn. You're up.
alright. Mad Lad's gonna take another shot at him.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I say that's going to be a 25.
25 will hit. Roll your damage.
And since red is also... Oh, wait, I forgot to say. I need to roll concentration to be fair for Mad Lads. I say,
Yeah,
all right.
for the hunter's mark.
Yeah. Hunter's mark is a... Hunter mark is off right now. I say.
He is no longer got a bullseye on his back. You have no longer stuck the kick me sign to him.
Yeah. But he would
I'm sorry, that's all I could think of with Hunter's Mark is just a kick me.
It's a black spot for Mad Lad for flavor. But yeah, Mad Lad would probably recast it again and then take his shot. So, yeah. Alright. Let's say for the attack. Say we'll do Hunter's Mark, then that attack. Alright, that's a 19 on the die. So, yeah, that's going to be a 19 plus 9. So that's going to be a 28. Then Red also has a fun ability that allows him to infuse Mad Lad Strike. So he does 2. So it's 1d6 for the Hunter's Mark, another d6 for the acid damage. So roll. I'll do the first. Let's see. I will do the regular d10. So that's a 5. So that's 9 damage plus for the 2d6s.
And I'm gonna roll him concentration real quick from the previous damage you did with opportunity attacks.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a 7. So 9 plus 7. Yeah, it's gonna be a 16.
Dragon's Breath has dropped off. The second opportunity attack was a failure. And how much damage did you do?
16 total.
Okay, so... I'm not telling you how many hit points he has.
Yeah, and that's for his regular attack. For his bonus action, Mad Lad commands Red to sick him.
Alright, let's see if the bug can hit.
Let's see if the bug can hit. Alright, I need it. Yep. That's gonna be a 17.
Nope.
Let's see.
He tries to hit him presumably with his little buggy horn, but Belle just casually hops out of the way.
Fair enough.
Now, when I've been describing hover, it's just flight without wings. It's not
I'd say I would
slowing
describe.
on magic. It's just
Yeah. I would just say at least from now on to be less confusing. Just say he moves away. Say just using just say
hovering is still flight though. Saying just moves is a little weird.
it's a you can flavor it as like he moves away by flying. Is a it maybe or moves away by hovering in this case. But at least that would clear it up a little bit.
That works. My mistake. That works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your turn, right?
Yeah, but if he tries to move away again, Red's right there. He can get another opportunity attack.
That's perfectly fine. Because he's okay with just maiming Red right then and there.
Yeah, Red doesn't hit. Red say like pincers graze across the scales, and they don't hit their mark.
Okay, so since he's not doing Sacred Fire, the multi-attack that Kieran gets is 2 hoof attacks and a horn attack. We're gonna do with the hoof attacks to start.
All right.
What is the AC of Red that I am aiming to beat or meet?
17.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so we'll do the first hoof attack. That's 10 force damage for the first hoof attack.
All right.
The second hoof attack misses because that is 12.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the horn attack. (11 plus 9 is a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits him.
So that's going to be 2d8 plus 5 radiant damage. That is 11 total radiant damage.
Yeah, that knocks. Say Red gets a good dodge in before he is knocked out again, and he goes back into Mad Lad's his amulet.
Yeah, he just gets bonk again. And this blazing infernal Kirin just looks at you with just a look of challenge.
Yeah, Mad Lad's
Your turn.
Yep. Let's see. So many things with concentration. That's not what I wanted to hit. Yeah, Mad Lad is gonna probably move again. Say since he's currently out of range of there to do another go with cover again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna fire a shot off. Nah, that's cockeyed. Yeah, that misses with a 12.
Ping! Ping!
Yeah.
You got anything else you can do?
Red is the only bonus action I have, and he's gone.
So Belle just watches the bullet bounce off and just goes, I did give you red. For a few seconds. And he's gonna go ahead and we're gonna try and bowl you over with a horn attack. So with a hover distance of about 120 feet, I can easily close the gap. We're gonna try and hit you with a horn attack.
He is taking cover though, so he would say, let's see if he can get him.
Okay, so give me a minute to grab cover real quick. Is this half cover or 3/4?
This is 3/4 cover.
Alright.
So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So he has to be a 23 or meets it.
You know, there is something I've been forgetting about, actually. Let me go back a moment. Oh, darn, I never did... I gave myself advantage from silvery barbs and I never used it. I suppose it wouldn't be fair for me to say I can use it here, so we'll say that wore off a while ago.
Yeah.
So that's a 22 on the horn attack.
Yeah, that misses.
And next come the hooves. $26.
Alright, that hits.
So 2d4 plus 5. Could have done a little better on that, buddy, but it's okay. $10 force damage.
Mad Lad is still barely standing.
One more hoof attack.
Actually, Mad Lad is gonna say Mad Lad is actually, since this is a non-magical hoof attack, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna use. He's gonna.
It does force damage, which I'm not sure why it does that instead of bludgeoning damage. So I'm not sure if the hoof counts as magical or non-magical.
It's a hoof, so I would say it's non-magical. Just by gut feeling.
Yeah, most likely. It's weird that it classifies it as force damage instead of bludgeoning.
That's weird.
Anyway, continue what you were saying. Proceed with your move.
Mad Lad is gonna do the Acme effect and try and half that damage.
That was a nat 20. I'm not sure Acme's gonna matter where you're going.
No, I don't think it is.
So that is gonna be 44 plus 10. Because that's double the damage die.
Look, the average, just the modifier would do it. He's only on 5. He's only on 5 HP.
That's fair. Let me at least roll it out though. Actually, the crit table. That's right. Hang on. Where's my D100, baby boy? Well, that was precisely 50. I don't get that a lot. Give me a minute. And I just wanted to check. It was just a little confusion with the fight, but you're still having fun, right?
It makes much more sense now. You were just I'm having more fun. It's like I was very confused and getting a little bit frustrated, but
It's okay. That was my apology for not describing it well.
Yeah.
So that is a 50 for a melee attack. He's able to take the disarm action after his attack. We'll say he probably just knocked your gun out of your hand once I do the damage.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been 17, and we're going to say those plus 5 instead of plus 10 because it's double the damage die, not the modifier. So you would have gone down. What?
Even plus 5. He's only on 5.
Yeah. So you just get sort of knocked over. You take a hoof to the face. You just get a cartoony imprint. It's not going to leave a scar or anything. Again, this was still a cartoon fight, save for the unicorn, but that's to be expected. and you are on the ground, in the mud, gun knocked out of your hand, and only slightly to the side, is not too far from you.
Yeah, Mad Lad is still on the still on the ground, and I need to make a special roll because someone is not having it.
He's just laying on his back, probably just contemplating his decisions, looking up at the sky.
No, he's on the ground face down in this particular scenario because someone may not be happy right now, and it's not Mad Lad.
Yeah, fair enough.
I need to say. Okay. Okay. Nothing happens as Mad Lad just lays there face first on the ground.
At first, it feels like a set of claws, but when you are rolled over onto your back, it looks like Belle is standing above you again. It's no longer his Kirin shape.
Mad Lad is just silent.
Did you enjoy the one-on-one?
Mad Lad rolls over to his side. You could say that is just on a base insight. He's not mad at you. He's mad at he's mad at himself.
I'll give you a chance in fairness at saying, not all of your foes are going to be like me. You don't need to be all-powerful or do the most damage or shoot the most bullets to be able to win battles for yourself or those you care about. But also, your other opponents are likely not going to be like me. So I wouldn't take a fight with me as a judgment of your character. Do you understand me? I'm not a fairy. You see that, right?
Yeah, you're a devil.
And fighting a devil is different than fighting a fairy.
But just Mad Lad just flips over. He's just like, I don't know what happened. It felt like a switch was turned off. It felt like I was on the top of the world. I could do anything that I wanted, but then that fight happened, and then it just.
Was it the fight with the Drider?
He doesn't say anything, but his face says everything, and it was definitely yes.
Belle sort of sits in the mud. And yes, that gets the mud on his haunches. He couldn't really care. But he sits next to you for a minute and also looks up. And the sky is still nice and sunny. It's just beaming down, shining on you. No judgment. Look. I can't stop you from beating yourself up about it. Especially since it was a grown person, someone you cared about, getting hurt by someone you didn't care about. But sometimes when it comes to having adventures and traveling with adventurers, sometimes things happen that may feel out of your control or out of your reach. Things that maybe at one point seemed easy and feasible for a moment feel difficult, and when you've been doing something so well for so long and you get on a winning streak, having something break it can crush your spirit.
That's the understatement of the century.
But that doesn't mean that you're going to be cursed with bad luck forever. That just meant the streak broke. And in the line of work such as adventurers, it happens a lot. You just haven't run into that yet. The taste of failure and defeat isn't poison. It's just water after a hangover.
What's a hangover?
It's how bad people feel after they drink.
You can feel bad after you drink?
After they drink alcohol.
That's what I mean.
Yes, most people, when they drink too much, then the morning after, when they're sober, they are hungover, which is when they're in a much more irritable state.
Oh.
They're also dehydrated at that point, so they need water.
Okay, a lot of
Water
things make more...
No, sorry, what were you saying? I didn't
Mad
realize I
Lad's
talked over
just
you.
making a quick comment. It's like, things are starting to make sense back on the pirate ship.
But the thing is, water sometimes may not taste as good as what drinks you may like. It may not taste as good as root beer, or as whiskey. But it's still a refresher that's meant to help you get back on your feet and figure things out. You're blaming yourself a lot, but you're also challenging me. I'm not sure what you expected. I mean, I'm not sure what I expected, but I'm not sure what you were expecting either. Me, I've dealt with a few losses before, and I'm a little self-conscious about possibly losing any more children. So it's understandable for me, but you... I am not the one you're wanting to fight. And I'm not going to make you feel any better about it. That's not to say that I'm not trying to, but beating me won't make you feel better about not being able to beat a spider. Do you understand?
Drider, but fair.
Yes, I know what I said. Driders are just half spiders. I know what they are.
It feels better. It feels a little bit better to actually call it a drider than not the spider. It just feels... That's just like rolling around in the mud, not caring, but still. He's trying to...
He's just trying to make himself dirty, I get you.
Yeah.
I suppose that's fair. But the thing is, you can examine your actions after losing, yes, but you shouldn't blame yourself for that loss, even if it results in someone else getting hurt. Such things are out of your hands. Such things aren't your responsibility or your fault. It's just up to you to keep an eye out for next time. And maybe, if you pay a little attention and stay on your toes, you can build up that winning streak again. Sure, it'll be broken again eventually, but approach it with a little modesty and some lower expectations, you know?
Maybe. It's just hard.
Oh, I didn't say it wouldn't be. I mean, the easy thing would be just for you to quit and go back to actually living a life a normal child should have, no guns required.
Not likely.
Exactly why I say it.
Just afraid of something like that happening again, and I can't fix it. And it's the can't fixing part that worries me the most.
Well, you can't fix everything. Especially when it comes to death.
You say
Or
this,
to
but...
harm. I say this, but what?
Yeah, we have revival spells, and it's just like... I mean... It's more like... you're not wrong. Just trying to...
Revival spells don't necessarily fix death. It just puts it off.
In that way, it's true. Death eventually does come for us all, as morbid as that is.
In his mind, he thinks for all of you, but he's not going to say that out loud.
That's fair.
Like, in his mind, he's not saying it out loud. He's saying it in his head, but it's like, for all of you. It's not coming for him anymore. Look, I understand a little of what you're feeling. I had a similar soul-crushing loss not that long ago, in fact. It didn't wind up in anyone dying to me, but that wasn't the problem with it. The problem was losing to such a strange source. The ridicule and humiliation that followed made me worried that I wouldn't be able to defeat whoever else came to hurt those I cared about. And maybe it's not as much of a risk to me, but that doesn't matter. It's a risk to those I cared about. And I didn't want to see any of them die because I couldn't beat someone I'd previously defeated with ease. That's part of why I went on this whole journey, part of why I went searching for wishes, went to the vault, got hit, lost my memory.
Wait, what wishes?
Oh, I went looking for a genie so I could try and wish away my problems.
Ah, that's fair enough.
I found the genie, just found out I couldn't wish away the problem.
Ah. I see.
I still have a wish, but I'm saving it.
That's also fair.
But the point stands. And as he's singing, you can kind of, if you did look, you could kind of see his face of, the irony of me saying this and also me needing to kind of hear it from somebody else, but fair.
Self-realization.
But this defeat shouldn't crush your spirit. Because it doesn't nullify any other victories you've had. And it doesn't nullify the fact that, well, you got up afterwards. It's not a proper defeat until you stop getting up, isn't it?
You're right.
And I mean, I did speak to the gentleman that passed, and he didn't blame anyone else for it. If anything, he seemed to doubt himself, similar to how you doubt yourself. He thought he'd lost his touch, fun enough.
I mean, I can understand that when you lose to not only your rival, but your ex.
Sorry, that was his ex? Oh, God, that's worse. Ugh.
Yeah.
That is a little worse. I can see a little why that hit the ego more. If I had to lose to an ex-boyfriend of mine, I would not stop until I'd won. I wouldn't stop until I'd fixed the problem, violently. That's a thought. He shakes his head a little. But you understand the point, yes?
Yeah, it's just really hard. It's just a really hard pill to swallow.
I mean, it's gonna be. Even the smallest pin is going to be difficult to the smallest creature to swallow. It's just a matter of getting used to taking it. And I mean, hey, I managed to beat you twice. I maybe thought the first time I beat you was a fluke, but if I could beat you a little bit more consistently, there's a chance I could beat the ones that beat me before.
Bad Lad gives him a look.
Hey, I said I suffered a similar loss to you, alright? I'm allowed to complain a little. Especially since they were younger than you. And there was two of them. And they were shorter, and they were a little more annoying, and they didn't have guns as an excuse. Well, I mean, they did have guns, but not your guns. They just had... Not important. Not important. He just waves away the thought bubble before it could show he's talking about Tai and Matcha. Just waves that thought bubble out of existence. The point is, you just can't let that get you down, and you can't stay down.
And Bad Lad sits up. I mean, if a couple of kids younger than me can beat you, I can do it eventually with enough practice.
I wouldn't go that far. And he reaches a firm hand on your head and sets you back into the ground.
Bad Lad is just set in the ground.
You're just laying back down and he takes his hand off you again.
I get what you mean, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to try to beat you.
You can try, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it. Besides, you said your anger's directed elsewhere. I'd practice on driders and spiders before I'd practice on me. Just saying.
I mean, true. But you never know what life is gonna throw at you. So might as well try to be varied in all combat, in all types of creatures.
That's not really going to get you far, especially as a ranger. There's a saying to that. The jack of all trades is a master of none. But rangers, you folk are specialized in your foes.
I mean,
You train against specific environments and specific creatures. You're not meant to handle everything. That's the point.
mm,
You don't need to handle everything, Mad Lad.
it's just hard when you've been at least a good chunk of like almost a year when I first got here. I had to survive on my own, and I had to be that.
Well, you don't have to be now.
Besides, Rangers have also, as they gotten more diverse since Roquefort's time, and though
Oh, I wasn't saying they haven't. I'm not trying to agree with the old fuddy-duddy. But you, as a ranger, rangers in general are meant to train against specific threats. That is your skill set. You can adapt to others, but you can't master everything. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
hmm,
You can't be good at everything.
I mean, guess so. Like, I know I'm not gonna be the best at magic, and he sort of looks at his hands, but at least it helps in a way.
It helps. You are good with a gun, I will say that.
I hope so. I've been training since I was basically quote unquote born.
Yeah, I still have questions about that, but you already told me your issues, so I have less questions.
Like, you had to defend yourself some way out in real kind land.
You do. I don't have to deal with that. And I'm very thankful for that because I don't want to go back there twice.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go visit the Nine Hells in the first place. I'd rather stick to creatures on the mortal plane if possible.
Yeah, that's a statement. The Nine Hells were a little weirder than my hell. And he actually pulls at his fur like he's pulling at a necktie. You know, like the collar of his
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah, at least, like, I could even use my like signature weapon against you. Like, I had to adapt technically because like I'm usually using my cannon.
And your cannon's not going to work on everything, is it?
No.
But I tell you what it does work on.
What?
It works on driders.
It does work on riders. He does smile at that.
Now, like I said, you can't master everything. And if you try, then you're not really going to be good at you're not going to be good at anything. So, pick a few things to be good at. And recognize the things that you're not.
Hmm. I mean, I know I'm good at guns, and I'm gonna keep working on that no matter what. But
Of
also,
course, and you've got magic to practice on, but I mean when it comes to creatures and environments, that kind of thing, when it comes to threats. Recognize what is and isn't out of your league and adapt to what you know. And pick up a few tips for what you don't, but don't try to pick up everything because you'll just push out what you want to keep, you know?
I guess so, yeah.
You've only got so much space in that head. Come on. And he, knocks on your head and there's a little tunk 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 noise.
Mm, yeah. It's just hard when you have to say, like, I used to be all sea based until now. And not to say I can't battle at sea, I don't have the ship for it, but I can get away pretty quickly.
And you're probably best at fighting at sea if I had to take any gander at it. The guns would be quite useful there, and not a lot of things can deflect it.
Yeah, it is.
But you'll have to get used on land, and if the guild needs your expertise on the ocean, then you know where to look.
Yeah.
Just don't beat yourself up for something going wrong. Take it as a learning opportunity. And also learn your limits. Got it?
Alright.
Now, why don't we get the mud off you, huh?
Alright.
Instead of taking you into the treehouse to get you cleaned up, he winds up leaving you out and instead winds up getting a hose.
I was wondering. I was like, oh, you're gonna get a hose.
Yeah, Mad Lad does not seem like the type that's gonna let Belle bathe him, so you're gonna get the hose treatment.
That's fair.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wash up the clothes, and then we'll set them aside to wash and dry later. And you just go through a montage of just, Belle rinsing you off externally. You take off most of the clothes. He doesn't ask you to strip. You're just a kid,
Yeah.
Rinses you off again. You just run in the hose a few times. He does a few tricks with the hose. You run after the water. And after poor sweet Red eventually wakes up, Red runs after the water. He just has one hit point though, so he's a little sore guy. He's a little sore.
He's a little sore buddy.
And it's not going to take place of a proper shower, but you don't really need one. Not right now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So you just get rinsed off, and you kind of just get given some placement clothes. I assume you have some spare clothes in your bag, and if you don't,
It's like the Toonish thing. If Bad Lad takes the exact same pair out.
Yeah. And your other clothes just get hung up to dry. The imps, on the other hand, they have been clamoring around Belle since he won and have just been speaking in nonstop infernal and also fretting like, where have you been? We've been worried sick. And that was so cool. Did you see how you fucking tore that unicorn's throat out? That was sick. That kind of thing. Eventually, Belle does dismiss them after a little more reassurance, because he's just boys. He's just little guys. But aside from that,
Yeah.
Is there anything else Mad Lad would like to do?
Mad Lad probably just shakes himself off like a dog after like the water and then getting himself clothes and everything. He's just like, so
I'm not giving you a round 3.
I wasn't asking for that. Because I recognize it. I didn't want to admit it, like, I still got growing to do. I'm still a kid. I'll get stronger naturally just because I grow older and stuff. But I also realize that I know I'll probably be seeing you down in hell eventually.
I wouldn't say that. You've still got a long life to decide that.
I'm not very sure if life will lead me that way, but I want to cover all bases.
Belle lifts an eyebrow. And by that you mean...
I could work for you.
No, we're not doing... Nope. Nah.
I said not now, obviously.
Nope, we're not doing it. Nah, no.
Come on. You'll need someone good to collect souls. And I'm the bounty hunter to do it.
I can find others. I am not inscripting a child, thank you.
I said not as a child, but maybe when I'm an adult.
No, absolutely not.
Come on. And Mad Lad's probably just under there as the screen just points towards the sun, as Mad Lad is just like playfully is just like, yeah, I can work for you when I get older.
No, you absolutely can't, and you shouldn't. You have plenty of chances to change your life's course, and I personally don't want to work with you. No offense.
Offense taken. I'm good to work with.
Really? You've been pestering me nonstop to train. I wouldn't say that's exactly nice to hear day in and day out.
You wouldn't hear from me day in and day out. I'd be out collecting bounties for you.
No is no, mad lad. Besides, you're already mentoring under Roguefort. I'd rather you not take multiple tutors. And if I train someone, I'm not willing to share.
I said when I get older, when I'm already chained by Roquefort, I'll probably still be a pirate.
No, mad lad. The answer is no, as the screen just fades to black. And I do believe that's a good point to end it off.
Yeah, I think that is.
I do hope everybody enjoyed that second part.
Indeed.
And we did at least thankfully avoid having too much angst, so that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody remember to maintain 6 feet social distance. Remember to wash your hands and shower. Eat 3 square meals. Stay hydrated. Stay masked. COVID's not gone yet by the time of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.